How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Now, on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Premier League because they've made another decision on the 5-sub rule. Next piece of news involves Gareth Bale because he's been talking about Real Madrid and the possibility of him returning to the Premier League. Last piece of news involves Arsenal because it looks like Torreira is on his way back to Italy and Fiorentina.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So the first place we're going to start is the news from the Premier League, and they have made another decision on the 5-sub rule. Now, I thought this situation was sorted out last month, and they agreed to go back to the 3-sub rule, getting things back to normal and the way they once were. But there has been another proposal put forward to continue with having 5 subs that are allowed to come on during the game, 9 in total. But that proposal was rejected again. You need to get a unanimous vote of 14 clubs or more, and they were not able to do that. So we will revert back to the usual 3 subs that are allowed to come on, and 7 in total. And I think this is a good thing, to be honest with you. I think that we understand why they did it initially because of COVID and everything else, and how games were packed in such a tight schedule that they needed those extra substitutions because a lot of players were going to end up fatigued and there was the risk of serious injury to some. So I get that. But now we're going to start to get, towards some sort of normality. Not in a sense of in the stands or anything else, and we still have to be actively cautious and careful and wary that COVID is still out there and that football could be halted again. What my concern is, will be when the winter months are here and it starts to get colder, and whether there will be a massive spike, and if that happens then we could end up seeing football halted altogether again. But I think this, evens things out, like I was saying. And, the 5-sub rule kind of helped a lot of the bigger sides. If you're a Manchester City, for example, you've got to look at their bench at times and think, my word. You imagine when teams are really starting to tire with 15 minutes or so to go and they've defended for their lives to try and get a result, and then all of a sudden Manchester City can throw on the likes of Jesus or Mahrez or even Aguero at times. I've seen Sterling, De Bruyne, people like that on the bench. Can you imagine being able to bring that kind of ammunition on? So that's going to stop that in many respects. And it's interesting to see who the clubs that were against the proposal were. I don't suppose we're ever going to find out or know, but whether it was one of the bigger sides or the lesser sides because they felt it was an unfair advantage and it was maybe very much stacked in the bigger club's favour, remains to be seen. But yeah, I think this one will be put to bed now, and we will go into the new season with the same rules that we did have before COVID. So you're allowed 7 subs and 3 are allowed to be used during a game. Next piece of news involves Gareth Bale, and I can't help but smile when I see some of the reports and things that go on with Gareth Bale at Real Madrid. We've all seen some of the images and things that happen. He's been on the bench for Real Madrid, and he's covered his face. He looks like he's going to sleep. He's yawning. He's laughing. He's joking. There's been one incident I see where he came out to warm up once, and the Real Madrid fans started booing him and giving him a load of abuse, and he sat there cracking up laughing, just found it amusing, and that got the fans even more worked up. And yeah, he's made it very evident that he's not going to leave at the moment, and he'd be happy to see out his contract and just play golf. Mad. I remember there was a video once before where he left Real Madrid's training ground and his car was getting bombarded by fans that were kicking and punching it and all sorts. And Yeah, it's not been the greatest of times, should we say, at Madrid. When you look at this side of things, in terms of achievements and trophies, he's won it all, hasn't he? Unbelievable when you think what he's won since he left Tottenham, and that's the best decision he ever made. Leave Tottenham and gone to Real Madrid, because since he's been there, Tottenham has still not ever won a trophy. So he done the right thing. But he is, of course, with Wales at the moment, international duty. And he has been speaking whilst there. And he has said that he would consider a return to the Premier League if Real Madrid finally let him leave the club. So very key what he says there. Finally let him leave. Bale blames the Spanish club for not allowing him to leave sooner, and says that it is nice to feel appreciated when he joins up with the Wales squad. The 31-year-old almost left Real Madrid last summer for a move to China, but it was blocked at the last minute. Since then, Bale has made just 20 appearances for the club, and only 2 of those came after football's restart following lockdown. Speaking before Wales' game, he says that I think everyone knows how much I love coming away with Wales. It's nice to be back at a place where you're a little bit more appreciated and supported by your fans no matter what. Yeah, I think it's very, very evident that Gareth Bale doesn't want to be at Real Madrid anymore. And we can laugh and joke and talk about the golf course and this, that and the other. But he just wants to play football again. He's 31 now. How much more of his career does he really want to waste just sitting on the bench, sleeping and whatnot? And yeah, all jokes aside, I think he just wants to get away now. I think it's best for both parties. He's on ridiculous wages at Real Madrid. And if he does leave them, he's going to have to lower those wages, because I don't think there's many teams in the Premier League that are going to pay those kind of wages, especially for somebody that's 31 years old. Still, obviously, got so much to offer. An unbelievable player. But at his age, yeah, he's going to have to lower them wage demands if he wants to come back to the Premier League. Where would he go? I honestly don't know. I suppose it would be one of the bigger sides. I think Manchester United was a name that was being mentioned in recent years. But maybe that's, past now, and that won't happen again given his age. So it's interesting, and I'll see how Gareth Bale performs for Wales, and we'll see what happens before the season starts in Spain, and whether he does finally get that move away from Madrid. Last piece of news involves Arsenal, and the reports were saying yesterday that Arsenal have agreed to let midfielder Lucas Torreira move to Italian side Fiorentina once Dani Ceballos rejoins on another season-long loan from Real Madrid. The Uruguayan international made 29 appearances in the Premier League last season, scoring once and creating 1 assist. But has been linked with a move away from the Emirates this summer. Ceballos, it does look, for all intents and purposes, that's done, and it's just, the official announcement that's needed. And this deal for Torreira with Fiorentina, it looks like a loan deal initially for £8 million with a £16 million obligation to buy next summer. So if he goes, then he will be going for good, because they have to buy him in a year's time. And that will accumulate to around about £24 million. So pretty much what we paid for him. And in total, it's probably a good deal for Arsenal. And it's probably the right thing for Lucas Torreira. I have no problem with him at all. I have no ill feeling. I'm gutted it didn't work out for him, because I remember when we signed him and we thought this was the answer to our problems. And he started superbly at Arsenal. And we were like, yes, finally, we've got a player. We've got somebody that can protect that back four and be that little aggressive guy. And it just didn't work out after that. Form dipped. Unai Emery came along and thought, yeah, let me go and play him in a number 10. And then he had a broken foot. And it just doesn't look like he's what Mikel Arteta wants, and sad to see. But yeah, we will have to move on to pastures new, and we will need to replace him. And a Thomas Partey, you're not going to moan at getting rid of a Lucas Torreira if the money you're getting is going to be put on someone like a Thomas Partey. So yeah, I wish Lucas Torreira all the best. I've always felt in recent times anyway that he's homesick. Now I know he's Uruguayan and he's going back to Italy, but that's where he spent his time beforehand at Sampdoria, and I just feel that he's more settled and more accustomed to life in Italy, and I think that that's what I mean when I say homesick. He wants to be there. So again, I wish him all the best. I hope it works out. It wasn't to be. One thing I will say, and a memory from last season that will stick with me forever, is West Ham away with my 4-year-old son right at the front, cheering the players at the end of the game. And Lucas Torreira come up to my boy, took his shirt, gave it to my boy, gave him a little pinch on the cheek and everything. And it made my boy's, month, week, and he still speaks about it now. He's got his shirt in the house, and it's something that we will cherish despite him moving on. And that moment there for my boy is just something, that you will never take away. It's something that will live with him forever. That little, something that Lucas Torreira probably doesn't even remember. But to my son and me, it's something you'll remember forever. Such a great gesture. And like I said, I wish him all the best. And looks like Lucas Torreira is on his way out of Arsenal. So there we go. That is it for today's DT's Daily. As usual, let me know in the comment section what you think about today's topics. Let me know what you think about Gareth Bale. Where could he possibly go in the Premier League? And Lucas Torreira as well. What do you think about that move back to Italy? If you're new around here, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. And I will see you lot soon. I'm out of here.